What up, y'all? This is Tracy from Nerd Squish, and today we're going to be talking about the style and aesthetics of Merton Dingle from Big Wolf on Campus. Mertoncore, if you will. If you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I am completely obsessed with Big Wolf on Campus. This kid's show from the late 90s, early 2000s about a teenage werewolf fighting supernatural baddies found me in a very impressionable time in my life. And I saw the goth best friend Merton Dingle, and I was like, yeah, that's who I want to be. I want to wear all black, drive a hearse, surround myself with creepy stuff, and have a werewolf best friend. I mean, what's cooler than that?
They like me. They really like me.
I wouldn't say that my fashion or decor style is really 100% Merton, but you can definitely see the inspiration in my life from this character. While my style is kind of a mixture of nerdy, spooky, the alternative, and New Orleans, you can see hints of Merton everywhere you look. I'll be attending my very first Oddities and Curiosities Expo St. Patrick's Day weekend, and I can't wait to go and buy so much creepy stuff that my entire house looks like Merton's Layer. So I'm using that as an opportunity to make this video, which is a breakdown of Mertoncore. I want to talk about all the details of the layer and of course Merton's very own fashion style. Now before we get into the details, if you're a returning viewer, hey, how you doing? Welcome back. And if you're new here, this is Nerd Squish, where we take everything spooky and we take everything nerdy and we squish it all together. So if you like Big Wolf on Campus, horror movies, and pop culture, definitely hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos from us in the future. Now you may be asking yourself, why am I calling Merton's style Mertoncore? Isn't he just goth?
I'm a goth. Danger's my middle name.
The culture of goth was born from dark and romantic scenes that stem from literature and music. And from this we have very many different types of goths or subgenres of goths. You know, we've got the romantic goth, the vampire goth, the pastel goth, the cyber goth. But Merton's style of goth falls into a category all its own. The late 90s fashion, the love of werewolves, the dark academia vibes, among many other things, make him stand out. And the reason I'm putting Merton in his own category of Mertoncore is that he's honestly so much more than just a goth. So with that, let's dive into the details of Mertoncore. We all know that goths primarily wear all black, and that uniform is a key part of being a goth.
I think he's bad news. He's wearing all black. I wear all black.
Okay, Merton's got all black outfits and he's got some 90s fashion. What makes him stand out amongst the rest? Merton is and will always be authentically Merton. In the small town of Pleasantville, he's not afraid to stand out in the crowd, and some may even call him a rebel.
When'd you get a tattoo? Hey, it's a symbol of my rebellious nature, my reckless disregard for conventional norms. Why is it all smudged? It's a rub-on. My mom wouldn't let me get a real one.
But whatever you do, don't call him a nerd.
Nerds have labs. I have a lair. Ergo, I am not a nerd. Please disregard my use of ergo.
Now, like most goths, he's typically in all black, although sometimes he will throw some color into the outfit, which usually consists of dark purples, dark blues, maybe some gray or red. Most of the time, his outfit consists of just a button-down shirt, some pants, but you know one thing is for sure, is that he is never gonna leave home without that coffin backpack. I can't explain to you how this backpack consumes my every thought. I have been wanting one since 1999, and I still don't have one.
You don't know how bad I want it!
I thought Mom and Dad blocked those sites.
And I know what you're thinking. You're like, why don't you have one? Literally every store that sells like alternative clothing has a coffin backpack, whether it's Hot Topic or Spencer's or all these stores online, they're everywhere. Here's the problem. They all have to put like a stupid quote or graphic on them, and I'm just trying to keep it classy like Merton. I want some chain straps, black coffin with a cross on the back. Is that too much to ask? Anyway, Merton has a lot of other accessories that he frequently incorporates into his look, such as a frock, fingerless gloves, blazers, and perfectly gothic jackets. But the most important part of Merton's gothic look is his spiky black hair. Now, most goths do have jet black hair, but Merton's spikes are larger than life, just like his personality. In the seemingly normal-looking residence of the Dingle household, the basement has been taken over by Merton and given the title, The Layer.
Get out of my lair!
It's not a lair, Finkenstein. It's our basement.
This room has had many different iterations over the 3 seasons, but all 3 versions are loaded with beautifully creepy stuff. Well, maybe except for that one episode.
Merton, what happened to all your creepy stuff?
I would appreciate it if you wouldn't refer to my cherished belongings as creepy stuff. Hey, what happened to all my creepy stuff?
In the very first episode, we are given all sorts of fun details. A chair that looks like it came from the coolest Catholic church yard sale you've ever seen, a pet snake, a book titled History of Werewolves, lots of skulls and skeletons, candelabras, jars filled with specimens,
Sheep's brains, pig fetus, lunch.
and perhaps the most gothic thing of all, jelly beans. Merton's lair full of oddities and curiosities can honestly be broken down into categories because there's so much cool stuff going on in here. First and foremost, we have the basic gothic formula of dark walls, spooky embellishments, and ornate details. Much like his wardrobe, if there is color incorporated, it's usually a dark purple, a dark blue, or red uplighting. We have tons of skulls and skeletons, dramatic wall sconces, heavy draperies, and black blinds adorned with a skull. And with a show that very much follows the formula of Buffy, with these friends fighting the supernatural baddies of the week, it wouldn't be right if we didn't talk about the weaponry that's in the lair. I would say Merton is somewhat of a supernatural doomsday prepper, because the very first time Tommy wolfs out and breaks into his lair, he's ready to go with the super soaker loaded with holy water. Although that really wasn't going to help with the werewolf, was it now, Merton? And if there's one thing to know about Merton, he's gonna stay strapped at all times. Now, usually his weapon of choice is gonna be a super soaker filled with silver nitrate, because 9 times out of 10 he's dealing with werewolves. But it is not uncommon for him to whip out a cross, a wooden stake, or some garlic. Now, he obviously has stuff spread out all over the lair, but most of his weaponry is located in a cabinet, which this also evolves over the seasons, and the inventory becomes much more, colorful and plentiful. But like I said, they're literally everywhere. I feel like almost anything in Merton's room could be used as a weapon, even if it's not, you know, made to be a weapon. I mean, the guy has the Inquisitor 2000 strapped to his wall.
Isn't this a great rack? It's called the Inquisitor 2000. It's an exact replica of the device used to torture suspects during the Spanish Inquisition.
Merton, this isn't funny. Okay, Stacy's out on a date with Chris Cutler, and I'm stuck here chained up in your basement.
Lair?
And finally, one of the most important parts of not only Merton's lair, but his personality, is his love for academia and the arts. Merton is highly intelligent. I mean, after all, he did create a genius shake to make himself even smarter.
I know everything! Oh, carry the 4. Hang on. Now I know everything!
He's the president of the Gothic Fantasy Guild, and he often partakes in the debate team. He's honestly the epitome of dark academia. I think Merton is most in his element when he's surrounded by dusty tomes researching ancient lore. And it doesn't matter what kind of supernatural evil creature that they're fighting in the show, Merton can tell you how to defeat it, and if he can't, he most certainly has a book that can. Although he has knowledge on a vast amount of topics, werewolves is clearly where he thrives. Does that sound familiar? It's me. It's me. He looks up to Dr. Flugelhoff, the foremost scholar on lycanthropes.
I downloaded the collected works of Professor Flugelhoff from the University of Heidelberg. He's the world's foremost scholar of lycanthropes. The dude knows werewolves.
He also enjoys art in the form of writing screenplays, as well as directing his twisted version of Romeo and Juliet. Much like his fashion sense, most people don't really understand Merton's style.
Well, you killed a guy! Okay, hands off the cranial artifacts.
Not that he cares, as with each season, the layer evolves, adding new items to the Room of Curiosities. Each item adding a certain je ne sais quoi. Many of these items are a part of historical events, as Merton loves to nerd out about Gothic history. Sometimes these items are trophies of the supernatural creatures they fight, but one thing's for sure is that all items fit in perfectly in this Gothic museum. Now, besides his fashion style and the layer, there are 3 other things that are quintessentially Merton that we need to talk about. Merton J. Dingle rides in style in what appears to be a Cadillac Miller Meteor hearse from the 70s. Now, Cadillac is one of the luxury vehicle makers that dominates the hearse market because people want their loved ones to ride out in style. And obviously, Merton doesn't just have the model car as is. He has it decked out with skulls and crosses, as one does. And not only that, but my boy is out here with the white walls. Honestly, is there a better way to travel for a goth that's trying to hide his werewolf best friend? I think not. If you've watched Big Wolf before, you know that Merton is extremely knowledgeable about movies. So he'd honestly fit in perfectly here at Nerd Squish. One of the tropes or ongoing jokes of the show is that Merton is going to take every single fight that they have and he's going to relate it to some movie that he's seen in his lifetime. So of course Tommy gets invested and he's like, okay, I want to fix our situation, I want to fight the bad guy, what happened in the movie? And then Merton will go on this just rant, get distracted, talk about behind the scenes, facts about the actors, and it's always hilarious.
This is just like the 1933 genre-defining classic, The Mummy, directed by Carl Freund and followed by 4 disappointing sequels.
What happened?
Well, you know, Lon Chaney Jr. couldn't quite capture the pathos of the monster like Boris Karloff in the original.
In the movie. What happened in the movie?
Well, I went alone, but there was this really cute girl in front of me and I was just about to offer her some popcorn.
In the movie, you know, the picture movie.
Oh, right.
Either way, he's extremely knowledgeable because he's got all the facts of how to fight the monsters, but also if you need to know like weird details that no one needs to know about an actor, he's got you. Maybe Merton is the reason I am the way I am with movies. And the final thing that you need to perfectly emulate the aesthetic of Merton J. Dingle is a good old bottle of Yoo-hoo. It's a drink made up of water, high fructose corn syrup, a surprisingly small amount of cocoa, powdered milk, among many other mystery items. All of these ingredients come together to make a chocolate milk flavored beverage. And this is niche. You know, there's a lot of delicious bottled drinks that you can get at a gas station, and I don't know too many people that are gonna go grab a Yoo-hoo over a Coke or a Mountain Dew. But in Merton's world, there is nothing that makes you feel better after a long, hard day than a good old bottle of Yoo-hoo.
Blood. I'm not doing very well. I've been drinking a lot of Yoo-hoo.
And that, my friends, is Mertoncore, a subgenre of goth heavily influenced by werewolves, dark academia, and the Spanish Inquisition. I obviously wouldn't consider myself a goth, but I'm very much inspired by this character. I mean, obviously, if you look at my outfit today, you know, I've got the black clothes, the werewolf chain, but I kind of just look like the love child of Merton Dingle and Stacey Hansen. Tell me I'm wrong. I definitely want to step up the Merton vibes in the house, so here's to hoping that I can find some perfect pieces at the Oddities and Curiosities Expo that Merton would be proud to have sitting on his shelves in the lair. I am so happy to be doing another Big Wolf video. If you know, you know. It's my jam, it's my ultimate fandom, and I love nerding out about this for several reasons. Number one, it is wild how, in real life, it's hard to find people that know about the show, much less are fans of the show. But out here in the wild world of YouTube and the internet, they exist. And that's just so exciting. Like, who knew? Who knew? 10-year-old Tracy would be screaming. But also, it's really fun because for the people that don't know about it, it's kind of fun to introduce them and teach them about something that I have far too much knowledge about. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big ol' thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so when new videos hit the channel, you'll be notified. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you nerds later!